People, Deluded, I'm back again. Good morning on this Friday morning. I hope you're all well and safe and doing well and stuff. Like I said, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, even good night, depending on who you are, wherever you are. Like I know I've got a lot of fans in New Zealand and Australia. You lot's day's probably finished now and our days are just starting. America, you're probably just sleeping. Some of you Americans, I rate you lot because I think it's early in the UK and I'm seeing Americans comment. I'm like, you lot are not sleeping, man. So big up everybody, big up DG Nation, wherever you are, whoever you are, man. Like, it always shocks me, the many different diverse nations and different, sorts of folk that I come across just from talking about football. It's a mass of people. But moving forward, there's some rumours concerning David Luiz and Willian. Willian's expected to be announced at the weekend the most within the next 48 hours. So you'll probably see me back here again speaking about him by the time this video comes out. So let's kick it off with Willian. Now, before I begin, I hope the signing of Willian works out purely because the club don't have a leg to stand on if it does not work out. Willian has to hit the ground running because, Arteta's sanctioned off on him. The outlay of Willian isn't going to kill the club, but is allegedly quite expensive considering the age he's at. We all know the discontent some fans have with getting into bed with the agents. So, this could be a costly error if it doesn't work. So I hope for the club's sake it works with Willian. And for me, I'm going to say it again, I think Willian is an underwhelming signing. I don't think I'm going to sit up and go, wow, as you would as all fans, you see United, whether they get Sancho or not, they're talking about Sancho. Hervites and Chelsea's gone a bit quiet to us fans, but they're trying to do that. City are going to do their thing. You don't need to get involved. So when you're seeing Arsenal linked with Willian, a player that, Chelsea did want to renew a deal to, but he isn't a flag bearer and he might not have played too much next season beyond being part of the squad, it is underwhelming. But there are, that being said, Willian has my full support when he signs for this club. I want Willian to do well. And the things I will say in Willian's defence and what I like, as much as I don't believe in adding players if they're not better than what we have. Like, you can say Willian, if he plays 10's a better 10 than Joe Willock, but there's no point bringing in players that are very mediocre and just not corrupting the squad but filling in gaps where there's no need. But saying that, Willian's got adaptability. He can play on the right, he can play on the left, he can play as a 10. As much as I feel we need players for tomorrow in terms of age, we need the likes of Aubameyang, Willian and the rest of them to help us now to do that. Within the next 2 years we have to be back in the Champions League. These two are here to help us do that now. So yeah, I think he's a good option. I think he gives good experience and things like that. You can't discount experience, you can't discount what the young players could learn from. So while I don't agree with the terms and the finances, not that it's of any relevance to me, I'm prepared to give him a chance and I hope it works out. But apparently he is set to complete his free transfer move to Arsenal this weekend. Arsenal are due to announce Willian signing this weekend on a 3-year deal. That's from the Telegraph. The Daily Mail, Sports Mail, as allegedly has said, they can reveal that a deal in principle has been in place for some time. The 32-year-old will earn a staggering £220,000 a week on a 3-year contract. Willian will earn an astonishing £220k a week at Arsenal after he completes his free transfer from Chelsea, with the contract expected to be signed off by Sunday. Friday, it might be announced today in my opinion. Sports Mail can reveal a deal has been agreed for some time and the 32-year-old Brazilian will be rewarded handsomely. Willian's basic weekly wages will be lower than at Chelsea, but once a huge signing on fee is factored in, along with loyalty payments and other bonuses throughout the 3-year contract's duration, the staggering mark will be hit. So for Willian, of course, it might not be the base salary, but he's got the 3-year deal. He's got the security, knowing that he's got a last big contract. He's got the last big deal. He's got 3 years. His family is stable, and he's got one last European adventure before he moves. He's won the Premier League. He's done what he needed to do at Chelsea. He wanted to stay in London. And to be fair, in the footballing world, we might have our opinion as fans on him, but in the footballing world, there must be something to it. So again, I'm not saying everybody was going to buy him, but and this could all be agents' talks. But United did try to get him once. City were linked with him. Chelsea wanted to keep him. Even Liverpool have been linked, as well as Arsenal. So again, there must be something to it, no matter what we think on Willian. For him, like I said, he's secured his financial future. He's got a good deal. There's a lot of bonus-based incentives, whether that's getting Champions League qualification, winning an FA Cup, winning any cups, making a certain amount of appearances, team of the year, goal scoring bonuses, just any sort of thing you've seen in Football Manager. There's everything in it, people. He's got a good agent who's always going to look after his clients. Obviously, we're getting further in bed with him when you've got Is Cedric Suarez his agent? I could be wrong, but you know, Kaya's got definitely Willian and David Luiz. I'm pretty sure he's got Cedric Suarez, so we'll have to see. His off topic, Kaya Jurukkin also distanced Højbjerg from Arsenal as well. So for Willian, he's got a good deal. But again, for Arsenal, I pray it works out, because again, you've given this to a player who, again, cynics will say, I think Willian is still hungry, you know. He's only 32, you know, a career is short. When you get to them ages there, you value football, because you're not going to be playing soon, you know. Football career is short, you know. But you've got to cherish these moments. So I think there's enough hunger with him. I think sorting out his contract and sorting out his family's future for the next 3 years will give him the benefit just to focus on football and stuff like that. I hope so. You know, he's 30 odd as well, so he hasn't got time to waste. And being at Chelsea, being around winners and stuff, I'd like to think he wants to do that at Arsenal. The same things we said about Cech and David Luiz, ironically. But the cynics in me, the harsh people will say, what desire has he got? Because he's come here, he's won Premier League, he's done everything he's needed to do in England. He couldn't get a contract that he wanted at at Chelsea. He's now got a 3-year deal with a lot of bonuses as well as a signing on clause. You know, what desire does he have to really churn it in? If he plays well, he plays well. If he doesn't, he doesn't. He's really got nothing to play for. The same could be said for Cedric Suarez as well. So I hope the club make it work out, people. Moving on, people. So like I said, it's key to remember it's not 220k a week. You know, that's if everything is hit and stuff and all of these sort of things, and he sees out the duration of his contract. You know, he will be rewarded quite handsomely if he does see out this 3-year period. So it is quite costly, but you know, let's look at the details and not what the media are going to say as clickbait, in which they've said about the 220k a week. Like, it's not that base salary. That's not his base salary. Apparently, the article went on to say, insiders say Willian's unveiling was put back because of poor optics. If it had followed hot on the heels of the job cut statements, Arsenal deny that that's the case. Now, obviously, when you consider we know footballers get paid a lot, but when you consider the finances and the redundancies, it doesn't look good. You've heard that. You've also heard rumours that 2 of our club's photographers were both sent somewhere they weren't supposed to be sent to, meaning no one was there to do the pictures. Not too sure I believe that, because, you know, it's big Arsenal. You must have several club photographers that could do a thing. I know Stewart is the one, but you get it, people. Apparently it said, nevertheless, to commit to spending what could end up being around 35 million on a veteran player shortly after the redundancy proposal is bound to go down badly. The deal is also set an option for a 4th year. So again, you know, Willian, he could be here until he's about 36 or something like that, if my math serves me correctly, which he won't be. But again, that luxury. Is it an extension that the club can take out, or is it one of them when he's played a certain amount of games, it's automatically invoked in his last season also? And what makes it tougher as well is, you know, again, with all due respect to Willian, you'd expect him to be here for 2 years minimum. What happens after that 2-year period, where in an ideal world, if everybody's developed and we're moving the right way, Willian is not a key player of this team, how do we move him on? Do you get it? And like it said, you've got 35 million on that. How much money went in when you consider the wages for Socrates? Because it was a lot, even though I ain't got it to hand. David Luiz, how much has gone into that? And when you're putting it, if we're claiming we're managing figures and we need to manage our figures, and you're seeing this money put into these players, it doesn't really make sense. So I hope there's a plan. I hope that the articles aren't going to be written in which the Arsenal don't have a clue. You know, they're just winging it and getting into bed with agents. I hope that isn't the case, and this is why I hope it works out for Willian. Because, you know, the maths is there. 35 million on the third. You've committed, you know, if everything is hitting the things a deal, 35 million on a 32-year-old. They're laughing. You know, David Luiz, Cedric Suarez at 28 and Willian are laughing with their financial careers sorted. You know, there's not really, like I said, the cynics will say, what desire did these players have to do to really pull it out? It went on to say, sources added that only an unexpected turn of events would stop the deal being concluded this weekend. Meaning he can obviously start training shortly with his new teammates ahead of the campaign, which starts on the 12th of September. And obviously on the 29th, I believe we play in the Community Shield against Liverpool. A source allegedly close to him as well has also said he would have got nowhere near that money at Chelsea. The signing on fee reflects that it is a free transfer, and if he sees out the duration, it's a great deal for him. Obviously you're a free agent, so you are entitled to try and ask for a better signing on fee. So we'll see what happens, man. Moving away from that, and 1 minute Gabriel signing for us, then he's going Napoli, then he's going whatever. I will say any player that, as much as, you know, it's a bit tribal, but, you know, any player that has to think about signing for my club, regardless of where we are, I don't really want them, to be fair. If Gabriel comes, it's decent. But Gabriel is right to sit on his hands. He's had interest from us, from Manchester United, 2 clubs that are fallen but good in their own rights, just want to sign from. He's had Napoli as well. He could join a former teammate there. Obviously, Italy is the home of defending. He could take his defensive level up a next level there. And I'm sure there's, you know, it's a Napoli bordering on religious supporters. You know, it's a big club in its own right, Champions League, etc. You know, it's apparently said Leo have refused. Apparently, he actually had an Everton medical earlier in the season, people, but it didn't work. Leo have refused the 20 million offer for Gabriel from Everton due to a gentleman agreement the club have with Napoli. If he doesn't go to the Italian side, the agents of the player in the club will evaluate the offers from United and Arsenal. Napoli are therefore in pole position for Gabriel as things stand. But the outcome of negotiations will depend on the possible sale of Koulibaly. This is from Di Marzio. So again, you know, they sell Koulibaly. He is their replacement. Arsenal and United are gone elsewhere. If Koulibaly does go to the PSGs and the cities, or even United he's been linked with. If, you know, Koulibaly stays, it probably means Napoli don't move for him, in which it means Everton, Arsenal, United and whoever else have to fight it out for Gabriel. For Gabriel, he is within his rights to take as long as he needs to sort out his future and play coy. You know, apparently, you know, Arsenal fans in typical Arsenal fan fashion are tracking his sister's Instagram, and have seen that she's followed Arsenal. Whether they're playing up to the speculation, it was just an honest follow, or it was calculated, we'll never know. But we'll have to see what happens in that regards, people, really and truly. Finally, as well, apparently Rennes in France want to sign Arsenal defender David Luiz. Apparently a meeting has been scheduled between the player and sporting director Maurice. So we'll have to see what happens. But considering he's just signed a new deal, you'd be inclined to believe David Luiz is going to see out such deal. But he might get better wages. He might want a different experience. You never know, people. He's played in France before, so maybe a return to France appeals to him in some way. But on that note, I've got nothing more to add, so why am I going to waste time? It's always a pleasure. DG, I'm out.